Hello, people of the internet. This is Jarrett Dunn, the Chief Liquidity Officer of Coindex Labs, bringing you the first in our series of informational videos about market makers and trading bots and algorithmic trading. So what is Coindex Labs? More on our market maker and how to sign up for our 5-day free trial is in this previous video that I just took today. And this will be in the description of this new video. In this new video, what are we doing today? We're looking at how to set up and run the BitMEX sample market maker and Deribit, configure them and optimize them. Crypto trading bots. And that's exactly what we're doing today. So the first step in this process is to visit the BitMEX GitHub. You can find this by searching BitMEX sample market maker GitHub on your favorite search engine and finding this handy dandy GitHub repository. So I'll throw that in the notes. You don't really need to know how to use Git in order to get this repository. All you do is clone or download. You download zip, find a place to download it, open it up, extract it to a location where you know where it is, like so. We're going to open up a command prompt, cd into that directory, BitMEX. What's it called? Sample. I already have Python installed. This is on Windows. You can download and install Python from the internet for your operating system. Make sure to open a new command prompt or terminal window once it's installed. So here's how to install Python for various operating systems. Now what we need is a BitMEX API key. And we can create an API key like so. This is going to use a LiveNet balance. Where are we? API key management. Give it a name. CIDR we can leave blank. We're going to allow order. And we're not going to allow withdrawals. My two-factor token exists here. And we're going to take note of my API key before it disappears. So again, this is using a LiveNet balance on BitMEX from my referral income over the last little while, which is not terribly much money. However, we can now open up our GitHub repository. We're going to get rid of that. Open up our GitHub repository, which is on the C drive. Sample. Ooh, where are we? Sample. Here it is here. So the first thing we're probably going to do is Python setup.py install. I'm pretty sure our repository would tell us to do that. It tells us to install using pip. Either way, we can just install using Python. But I guess we didn't have to download the repository. It exists in the pip package repository, and you can actually just install it using this command. Now we run this command. Okay. Modify settings.py to turn parameters. Edit settings.py to add your BitMEX API and secret and change bot parameters. Note the user password authentication is not supported. Run with dry run equals true to test cost and spread. Run it with market maker symbol. So it only supports one symbol at a time, so it's already inferior to other bots that can support more than one symbol at once. So we just need to set the base URL in settings. Where is it? Settings.py. Base. From testnet to www. Our API key and secret exist here. So, for instance, the Coindex market maker runs on many pairs at once. We can actually see it live on Deribit now. No, why is this not showing me? Oh, I'm in the hedge account. I wonder it's not showing me orders. I had that problem on the last call. And somebody just messaged me on Discord. Anyway, as you'll see in my live net trader, we're going to be trading perpetual and 2 futures with all these open orders. We're currently selling because our skew is positive by too many contracts. We're trying to reduce net zero so that our overall exposure is not risky. And that's how we'll approach that. But for the BitMEX sample market maker, we just set our API key in secret. I guess it has a symbol here already that we don't need to set when we run it. How many pairs of buy-sell orders to keep open? Well, BitMEX's API actually is really slow. It's about 1 or 2 seconds between orders. So having 6 buy-sell orders will be 12 orders at a time, and it'll be very, very slow. So that's 12 to 24 seconds to recreate new orders along the books. But we'll leave it at the default setting. Order start size, I don't want it to be $100, and I don't want the step size to be $100. So what that is what the default order value should be. So we're gonna make it $1, and then the step size is $1 plus $1 is $2. Distance between successive orders as a percentage. So this is the distance between orders on the book. So if we take a look at my market maker that's running the Coindex AI, we'll see that they're 50 cents apart here right now. On the Coindex market maker and also on the Deribit market maker that we're going to look at here in a second, this distance between orders increases as there's more volatility or implied volatility or expected volatility according to the artificial intelligence. We could actually probably see that in real time if we watched it long enough. I wonder if any of these are good examples of orders that are more than 50 cents apart. No, so I guess the market's just generally not volatile right now, and I can't show you a good example of that. But we'll see it when we configure the Deribit market maker here in a minute. So as a percentage, 0.5%. So 0.5% is a huge distance in Bitcoin orders for our market maker. So at $6,074, that's $30 between the orders, so we want a much lesser distance than that. Minimum spread to maintain in percent between asks and bids, we'll leave that at 1%. Maintain spreads. We want to have potentially profitable spreads. I'm not exactly sure what this means. We'd have to look at the code. This number defines far much the price of an existing order. That's terrible, terrible English. So this means that if our initial order changes, if the distance between the best bid offer and the initial orders changes by more than this interval, we'll change that order around. Basically, it's BitMEX trying to make their rate limits work even though they don't. Check position limits. So this is in Deribit market maker, the position limit long and position limit short, which basically means that we want to make sure that we don't expose ourselves too much in one direction, so that or both directions rather, so that our maintenance margin doesn't get too high and we avoid the risk of liquidation. So on the Deribit market maker, that's actually a percent of total balance, whereas in BitMEX here we're doing a dollar value, and it's actually set to false by default. So it's again an inferior product. Post only is set to false, meaning we could actually have some market trades. And in a market maker, part of the benefit of a market maker, and I went over this in my last video, is that it profits from trading fee rebates on certain exchanges. There's about 8 of them, including BitMEX and Deribit, that have market maker rebates, meaning that if you make the market or add liquidity to the books and it's not instantly actioned against, then you earn a percentage of that fee back to you. We can see this in live on my Deribit market maker. That's earning fees on every trade it does. These are negative fees that we are being paid by the exchange in real time for our post only orders. So this is asking us if we want post only, which means that it has to exist on the books before it's acted against. It has to be a market maker order. We're going to change that to true. A dry run, we don't care about a dry run. How often to recheck and replace orders? Generally, it's safe to make this short because we're fetching from WebSockets, but if too many order amend replaces are done, we're actually not fetching from WebSockets because BitMEX took the order functionality out of WebSockets, so that's a misnomer from an older version. We're actually using the REST API to post new orders. We'll leave it at the default though. API REST interval, 1 second. API error interval, 10 seconds. Timeout, 7 seconds. If we're doing a dry run, how much Bitcoin? Log level, logging info. Where do I do prefix? Watched files, I'm sure that's fine. Contracts, XBT, USD. So I'm pretty sure that we just run our bot now, that we've saved our file. We don't even have to look at the source code because we can run our market maker by doing the command market maker. Whoops, market maker. And let's just watch the output. So we authenticated. Canceling all open orders. Here's a request that we sent to do some orders. Oh, we can order in bulk, which I didn't know about BitMEX. That's a very good thing that I just found out. So that rate limit that I mentioned is actually not as deadly. So the thing is, with a bulk order, I can send 6 orders or 12 orders at once rather than having to wait 2 seconds for each of those individual orders on my market maker that I've created for BitMEX, which makes a much more viable product. So thank you guys for letting me create this video. And I'm going to take this guy and say, can do BRB YouTube video. So this YouTube video actually just made me a ton of profit. Here's my current BTC balance. And it's doing stuff. I guess it's waiting to repeat the cycle. We set our distance at $5 apart, and we have 6 orders on each side of the books. So let's see what it's doing on the interface. Order canceled. That's not good. Trade. Trader. We have no charts. We have no active. We have no positions. We have no active orders. Why is that? That's not good. Why did our order history fail? Cancel. Oh, I can't create a minimum order of $1 because it'll be marked as spam. I think the minimum that we need is about 20 bucks. I don't know if I have enough money for that. Let's find out. We probably do have enough money if I set my my leverage is crossed, so it should be okay. So BitMEX doesn't let you submit small orders a whole bunch of times. Now we have orders. They're submitted and they're active. And let's see if we get any trades. We gotta wait for Bitcoin to go up and down in price by about, does it show me on the chart? It does show me on the chart. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. I want to see the buys too, guys. I can see them now. So if the price goes up by, that's a huge interval among best bid ask, best bid offer. Well, I guess what we could do is we could leave this bot running and see if it trades any while we set up our Deribit bot. So here's the Deribit bot. Let's download it, shall we? Examples, Python Market Maker, examples. They have other examples. Again, you can find this by searching git Deribit sample market maker, and it's the first result on DuckDuckGo or Google. Now I can download the zip again. Might as well show you how to clone it using git in case you want to learn how to do that. So I'm going to cd to my C drive and git clone this repository, which is the same as downloading the zip, except I can do some more stuff. So I'm in the Python Market Maker directory now. I'm going to open that directory in my handy old Notepad++ on my Windows. On my Windows, examples. Python Market Maker. That's the only example they have. So in here we have our Market Maker file, and we also have our setup.py, meaning I can run setup python setup.py installed yet again to get our dependencies. Now, this is a much more fancy bot. First off, we can use a whole bunch of extra futures at once rather than having to rely on just Bitcoin. And I'm pretty sure it's going to fail if our instrument name contains ETH because it's an older market maker and hasn't been updated. The original creator, Uriel, has updated this bot significantly since it's been developed and released on Deribit's GitHub. However, that is an aside. Let me create an API key. Again, I'm fueling this with some very small referral balances. I have some Ether in here too, but I'm sure the bot doesn't work for Ether. I'm sure we'd have to modify it significantly, which I have done actually in the Coindex live trader market maker bot that we've based on this Deribit sample. We've also added about a dozen different indicators. The Deribit market making sample uses one. They use EWMA to estimate or to find out what the volatility has been over the last 4-ish checks of the bot on the price. Invalid 2FA code. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Deribit 944-729. So here's the Deribit API key. I'm going to throw this in the marketmaking.py file under key. Here under not the testnet. We're going to change the useProd variable to be true by default. args.useProd equals true. Because we want to use the live net for our run. So what can we configure here? The contract size on Deribit is 10 by default. We can reduce or increase this variable to reduce or increase the cap on volatility estimate. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my thoughts on the most important variables like min order size, which can be 10 for one contract. Max layers, we're going to reduce that to increase the size. That's again, like we saw on BitMEX, and I can show you again, is where we said 6 orders up and down the books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is saying by default we want 5 on each side. We're going to change that to 3. Our end legs, that's how many times backwards to see the volatility using the EWMA indicator. What do we have here? Percent limb long and percent limb short. This is the percentage of your account balance to have in longs and shorts before stopping the new buys and sells on the books. So if you're feeling more risk averse, you can reduce these numbers, say by half, and it's all good. Your percent quantity base is your percent order quantity, and BPS is a percent of account on each order. So if you're feeling more risk averse, you can reduce this number and have less order sizes. Your min loop time is how long to take between loops. You can increase this to a large amount if you don't like to have faster loops. Your risk charge vol, this is an interesting variable. If you increase risk charge vol, well, actually, I'm going to show you in when we run this bot, to tell you the truth. And that's basically the most important settings, and that's how we set up the market maker. So if I do Python market maker, you should see some output. Here's some output. I have $17 in there. It's trading these contracts, which is again better than the BitMEX bot. And again, the Coindex market maker can do Ether as well. We have 0 positions. No bid, no offer is not a good thing to hear. No bid, no offer. So why do we hear no bid, no offer? No bid, no offer. Maybe my percent. Maybe I reduced position then. Wow, too much. Percent. Maybe I need higher percent. We wanted short to be larger. So it was refusing to enter into bids and sells, to buys and sells, rather bids and asks, bids and offers. We changed the config variable. No bid, no offer. So what is that value it's showing me after no bid, no offer? And this is just because of a very small account value. No bid, no offer. Yeah, so if we have a higher min order size, it'll act in more cases. And let's see if it's acting now. We can actually watch this on the chart. On the chart, on the chart, on the chart. Okay, no bid, no offer. I wonder what this value is after no bid, no offer. Pause lamb long. Yeah, so we just increased our percent limb long again. Again, this is more risk, but we need it for smaller balances because obviously you're going to risk more if you have less of a balance. That's why a higher balance will have inherently less risk. We still see no bid, no offer. So why is no bid, no offer doing that? Well, we know it's because of the percent limb. So we increase it again. No bid, no offer. No bid, no offer. It's increasing this number, which is good. Pause limb long. Place asks end bids. Minimum of pause limb long divided by quantity BCC and max layers. The minimum of pause limb long divided by quantity BCC. Let's see what this value is. Probably not much because my quantity BTC is very, very low. I have 0.0028. So this number needs to be above 1 for us to have a bid or an ask, and we kind of want it to have 3 layers. So I'm going to have to change pause limb percent limb long to be so we want it to be 3. Whoops. Whoops. We want it to be 16.27 times larger than what it is. And this is obviously not a good idea. You would want to have more of a balance. Anyway, what's 26,000 times 2? Let's do that one. Now we should see some orders. And I think that's where most people get tripped up. It actually tripped up me and my CEO Ryan for a little while when we were first configuring the sample market maker with our test balances. It's doing stuff. The warn order. It's saying my orders are failing. I wonder if I have enough money to do 50 bucks. Oh, it had some orders. Maybe it's failing for certain features. And that could just be again because the bot is old and I've already fixed that in the Coindex market maker. And you can view more about that in my other video that I just created and published today on our brand new YouTube. While you're at it, you could also size USD 490. It's doing 50 as contract size. We don't want. We want 5 contracts or 50 bucks. Try that. Which means I might have to increase pause limit long and short by 10 times in order to compensate for the difference. We'll find out. You can give us a like, subscribe, and comment. 50 bucks, 5 contracts. That's good. And it's doing more buys and sells. It's doing a whole bunch. And it's doing BTC perpetual. So it's doing the futures and perpetual, which makes it better than the BitMEX bot. Let's zoom in a whole bunch on the 1-minute chart. You can see that it's actually going to take action much more often than our friend the BitMEX bot. And I wanted to show you, see the distance between these orders? I wanted to show you that if we increased our risk charge vol maybe 4 times, you're going to see the distance between these orders is going to be 4 times larger. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The EWMA indicator, where does it change EPS? EPS. EPS equals a percentage point times vol, which is coming from the self.vols variable, which I'll show you in a sec, times risk charge vol. So we can see now these orders are more distant, which means we're going to enter into orders less often. And if the price goes up or down more often, we'll find that if we enter less often, then we get to soak up more of the difference in the change in price before we run out of maintenance margin, which I'm getting pretty high on right now. So we should probably have some positions. And what I meant by that vol variable, here we're long 200, we're long 350. Now the Coindex market maker notices when you're too much long or too much short and actually hedges and tries to hedge perfectly back down to 0. So you see here that we've shorted BTC perpetual a whole bunch. We've longed futures, and we're actually doing that on purpose because as the price of the futures, average price, approaches the price of perpetuals, you'll see that because we bought lower and we're selling higher, we earn another different revenue stream just from that the sample Deribit market maker doesn't have. It's also starting to get very much skewed in a positive direction. So if the price of Bitcoin was to go down now, which it just did, you can see that we're going to have losses because we're skewed positive far too much by the basic logic of the bot. Now, the vol indicator that I mentioned is the one indicator that the Deribit market maker has, which is this variable here. We'll see this number go up if the price continues to move, and we'll see it go down if the price stays about the same. So we saw it go down a little bit from the last time it updated. It's probably going to go down again because the default value was 150 or 100% for the last few runs. We'll probably see it go down again. When it goes down, let's say if it goes down by half, then the distance between these orders will also decrease by half. Now, the Coindex market maker has about a dozen different indicators that some of them affect how the volatility index is calculated. Some of them affect how it's multiplied into itself. Some of them, including the artificial intelligence indicator, which comes from Coindex's 3-year-long battle creating proprietary and patent-pending neuroevolutionary AI. And a link to my Hacker Noon article describing how I think that works from my basic understanding is in the first article, which is linked at the bottom of this document, or this YouTube video. So you can see that we've actually sold some contracts, so we should be earning money on fees. Let's have a look. Yeah, every single one of our trades is post-only limit, and we've earned fees on each of these. Now on BitMEX, let's see if we've made any trades yet whatsoever on our market maker. Positions 0. So no, we haven't. So it's just waiting for the price to increase or decrease a lot before it enters into a position. We can make our Deribit market maker less likely to enter orders. It's actually very, very skewed now. It's at $1,000 dollars. So as the price continues to go down, it's going to see more and more losses. I'm actually going to lose all of my balance here soon if I don't stop the bot, because it's approaching my maintenance margin. So let's stop the bot then, kill our orders, and mark it out of our positions. Let's also kill that API key while we add it. And that's basically how to set up, configure, and launch and optimize the BitMEX sample market maker and the Deribit sample market maker. So I'm happy to have been able to help you through this process. And let's just finish up this video by deleting my API key. So this one actually killed the active orders when I killed the bot, which is very, very smart. And if I go up here into account, or API rather, I can kill that key. I can kill the key. Now, it's not good for the fact that I showed you what my key was, and that's why we're not keeping it alive. And you should never share your keys with anyone that you don't trust. Now, they weren't withdraw keys, so there's no chance that somebody could have withdrawn my balance using my API, but somebody could mess with my old keys. Oh, that's the wrong. It's where's that BitMEX account? Oh no, it is the Deribit account. Yeah, it's my main Deribit account. So I need to go and get my auth fee on my Deribit 451. Nope. 310. Eh. 310 757. Here's my new key. Is that the key? 5KR. I should probably delete all of these now that I've gone ahead and shown you. I can just disable them. I gotta enter my two-factor authentication code. 310-757 377-264. Something went wrong. I need a new key for this one. Anyway, that's how to do it. That's how to set up the bots, and that's how to succeed with the bots. To view more about our sample market maker, watch it in action. It's actually down to 0 net contracts now. So, I mean, that means if the price of Bitcoin goes up or down, relatively speaking, among the futures and perpetuals, it's now perfectly hedged, meaning the price up or down doesn't, it just bought some, doesn't affect our position, returns on the positions, because they even out. And you can see here our bot in this session has gone up by a fraction of a Bitcoin, which is pretty good considering we only have this much. And this is our maintenance margin that we have and our initial margin that we have on the account. But yeah, the other video goes into it into more detail, and we'll have more videos coming up on how to best make use of the Coindex market maker. Alrighty, thank you so much. Bye.